Ponage made their first jump into the mousepad scene with their new Ultra Glide. This has the exact same design as their Stormbreaker mouse, which is pretty sick. It does come in two different sizes, being 500 by 500 and this weird 430 by 340 sizing. The edges are very well rounded, but you can still feel a slight sharper edge just before the rounding falls off to the side. It's nothing major, but just something I picked up on as my wrist and forearm were grazing over it. The corners on this mousepad are very aggressively rounded, which I'm personally not a big fan of. It does take away from quite the larger potential real estate to be able to use, but I also do enjoy the more framed look of a rectangular or a square glass pad shape. The base is made of rubber with a honeycomb pattern, which is pretty decent. It sticks really well to my desk even if I really try and lift it up to place it somewhere else. Now the Surface on the other hand does perform pretty well. It is heat treated and moisture resistant, but only resistant to a certain extent depending on how much moisture you do produce. Regardless, I do feel it's very necessary to use an arm sleeve on glass mousepads, as it does kind of mitigate all the extra friction and uncomfortability, which does result in chafing. But the performance of the Surface is pretty nice. It's smooth with these micro textures resulting in a pretty balanced outcome. Balanced in terms of glass pads though, so I'd put it in the same space as the Konami Sai, the Pulsar Superglide and the Asus Moonstone. It's still fast but also does a great job of being quite even with some of my louder skates. My general experience has been decently positive. It feels nice to play on and also performs pretty well. They just don't fill in this missing gap where it could have been a standard Artisan XL size, which is 490 by 420. Because now a lot of people will be in that limbo where it's like either you buy the one that's too small or too big for your desk. See, now me personally, I do love a 500 by 500 mousepad. But the thing is, a lot of people out there do not have the real estate on their desks for such a big pad. But then we also have the predicament of their cost. The Ultra Glide does come in at 500 by 500 at $99 US. The large Pulsar Super Glide does come in at 490 by 420 and that will set you back around $95 US. The small pad goes for $69 US and the small Super Glide will set you back at $85 US. So this is honestly a thing of where you are supposed to choose which one will work for your setup the best.